for CBC's The National. This is Juliet Foster with your news update at the top of the hour. We have just received word that the world is at a dangerously low level of fresh water. We are being faced with the possibility of running out of water. Our reporter is interviewing a variety of sources, trying to obtain more information on this crisis. I think the question on everyone's mind is, how did this happen? Over to you, Sally Andrews.
I'm here in Vancouver with Dr. Sarah Edwards. She's a limnologist and has devoted her career to studying fresh water. Dr. Edwards, tell us, how did we get to this point?
So what's happened is we've hit a point where there is a lack of sufficient water available to meet the demands of water usage on a global level.
And what does this mean for our world?
The physical and economical consequences of this crisis will be huge. We are not far off from arriving at a place where there is not enough water to quench the thirst of the world's population and keep the current energy and power solutions going.
So is it safe to say that no one should be taking this crisis lightly right now?
You're right, Sally. Ultimately, there are many issues surrounding the crisis that need to be addressed. The world is going to have to come together to find a solution.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Dr. Andrews. You've provided a reality check that I believe much of the world needed to hear. Back to you, Juliet.
Thank you, Sally. Very insightful words by Dr. Andrews. Next, we will hear from Prime Minister Barton to find out what this issue means for Canada.
Well, I'm here in Ottawa, Ontario, joined by Miss Prime Minister Barton. Thank you for being here with us today. What are your views on this crisis?
I believe that as a nation and as a world, we have been taking fresh water for granted for far too long. The crisis of nearly running out of fresh water is evidence of this. It seems that here in Canada, we use fresh water on a daily basis with little or no concern for the quantity we are using and wasting.
Prime Minister Barton, tell us, what do you think are going to be the effects of this crisis?
It is too early to touch upon how severely this crisis will affect us. However, I can say confidently that our world and life as we know it will never be the same.
Thank you for your insight, Prime Minister Barton. It looks like we will all have to start preparing for some major changes that are going to occur. This has been Sally Andrews reporting from Ottawa. Back to you, Juliet.
We have a very serious issue on our hands. The people of Canada and the world will be greatly affected. We turn now to Sally Andrews, who is speaking with Jemima Plump, a renowned baker in the Toronto metropolitan area.
Thank you, Juliet. I'm here now in Toronto with renowned baker Jemima Plump. Jemima, how are you doing with the news of our fresh water levels being nearly depleted?
Well, I will be unable to make many baked goods I currently am making. A lot of ingredients require water, and without them it's very hard to substitute them.
Ah, I see. Sounds like that could be a little bit tricky. So you might have to change your recipes a bit in the way you bake. Is that the only challenge you have faced during this crisis?
Unfortunately, no. Without water, I won't be able to wash any of my bakeware, which means that after a single use, I'll have to throw out the bakeware together.
I see. So the water crisis in which we are in has really put a lot of stress as well as change on your bakery.
You got that right, Sally. Working in a kitchen without water would be extremely difficult. My dough is made up of 40% water, and so without the water, I would have to scratch making dough completely. And to scratch making dough in a bakery is very difficult. I have realized that I should be more careful when using water because it's such a value.
And you're not the only one who's come to this realization, Jemima. I'm Sally Andrews. Back to you, Juliet.
Thank you, Sally, and thank you, Jemima Plump, for sharing how this issue is affecting you personally as well as your bakery. And so it goes, a world with nearly no fresh water left. That's breaking news for this Wednesday evening. I'm Juliet Foster. Good night and good luck.